This is something that I've been wanting to tell people on a number of occasions, and it never really comes out right when I try to ad-lib it. So because of that, I am actually just going to read this out as a statement, and you can do with it what you want. Here goes. Occasionally I am approached by Christians who would like to be friends. I would of course be delighted to oblige. I do not reject any offers of friendship out of hand, but I will not tolerate the slightest hint of condemnation. I start to doubt such a Christian's sincerity when they start asking me how I can be so certain that there is no God. They should really ask themselves that question in all sincerity, because they are just as certain that all those other gods that people worship all over the world do not exist as I am. But for some strange reason they make an exception for the Judeo-Christian God. Why? The history of that particular God is pretty damning. It started its sad little life as one kitten in a whole litter of gods in an ancient Judaic pantheon. The people who invented that pantheon then cruelly bagged all the others and drowned them, leaving only Yahweh behind. Why, I do not know, nor do I care. But it is clear that the whole mythology was a human invention from the start, and has been subjected to modification, mutilation, bastardization and corruption by every human that has touched it ever since. Sorry to have to say this, but I think that it is almost infinitely more likely that there is a giant leprechaun living in my attic than that that God, the Christian God, could possibly be real. I only say this because so many Christians do ask this question. But I do not wish to convince those Christians that I'm right. In fact, I sincerely hope that they completely ignore this, except maybe if they are feeling very unhappy and they themselves are convinced that their Christianity is the cause of this unhappiness. If that were the case, I would be more than happy to help them understand how one can be atheistic and happy, and how, in my opinion, not believing in any gods, anything supernatural, or an afterlife, can be quite conducive to happiness. But unless they tell me so, I will not work on the premise that that is the case. Christians believe they enjoy a personal relationship with their God. That means the world to them. And if it really does make them happy, then it is undeniably right for them that they should have such a relationship. The fact that from my perspective this is a relationship with an imaginary friend is and should be completely irrelevant to them. Even if they were completely conscious of the fact that their God is imaginary, it is still a relationship that can greatly enhance their life. Why do you think we human beings are so open to flights of fantasy? Why do we enjoy novels? There are some fictional characters in some novels that have made a bigger difference in my life than some real people ever did. A good story has a deeper meaning, and it creates a relationship between the reader and the imagined entity that can greatly enhance the reader's life. This may quite possibly be enhanced if people can somehow convince themselves that the entity that they are conjured up for themselves does actually exist independently and externally to them. I don't know, it wouldn't be my cup of tea, but I certainly wouldn't be so arrogant as to assume that it therefore couldn't be anybody else's either. So I will never, ever condemn a Christian for enjoying this personal relationship with their God. But I will not tolerate being judged by anybody either. I do not care one iota what it says in the Gospel. A Christian who wants to be my friend will acknowledge and confirm that I have made a life choice that to me is right. I am perfectly happy with the fact that they would never be able to make that choice for themselves, but we're not talking about them, we're talking about me. A Christian who wants to be my friend will accept that by not having a relationship with their God, that I am missing out on nothing. A Christian who wants to be my friend will accept that it is not their place to tell any other person what they deserve, or what the God that they believe in may impose on that person, nor will they make any denigrating remarks about the life choices that any other person makes for themselves. A Christian who wants to be my friend will treat everybody as an equal, and that means that they accept that they no more have a handle on the truth than anybody else has. That's their choice. Accept it, then shake my hand and be my friend.